let's get into the bag, man. Let's get into the bag because we not on with the play in is done. It's the real
Yeah,
deal now. It's the real deal now, and it's just sinking in that LeBron and the Lakers are not in this thing, bro.
I mean, I didn't miss them, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's
we know
cool.
you
I
didn't.
understand why you did.
The listeners of this show know you did not care either way. We clear on that. You stood your 10 toes down on that. Minnesota knocked off Memphis in game one. I predicted Minnesota to possibly win this series. And we saw Boston and Brooklyn over the weekend yesterday in a slugfest. Jason Tatum,
Yeah,
the game winning layup.
yeah.
The quote unquote best player in the world, Kevin Durant, came up short yesterday. Can we all agree on that?
Oh my goodness.
He shot
Okay.
more, he shot more
Yes.
shots than scored than points. All the turnovers. He played bad yesterday, bro. Let's not deny that, bro. Let's not
No,
deny it.
a dead clock is right twice a day, my G.
Mhm.
It's okay. It happens. Let's see what happens. What's gonna happen after the next game, though?
Momentum is big, bro. Okay, you say that, but this is a must win. Is it safe to say it's a must win game two for Brooklyn? Can they afford to go down 2-0 to Boston, even though they will be going back to Brooklyn? Can they afford to be down 2-0 with this talent that the Celtics got?
I definitely wouldn't want to give Celtics that type of confidence of being up 2-0, but also the Celtics, um, I want to say they're young enough to where they can be overconfident and think that they can just, but I think those kids are kind of grown up. So I can't really say that either. So yeah,
Jaylen Brown
I
has
will
been
say
here
it's
for a
gonna
little
look.
while. Jason Tatum been here for a little while. Al Horford been here for a minute. Marcus Smart been here for a minute. Those guys are not rookies or nothing new to the league. They've put in their just due. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah, and then you got Horford, and then I forgot they picked up Derek White. I forgot about him, and a couple of other cats that can kind of contribute.
true.
But I mean, like I said, I'm not looking for Kevin Durant to have back-to-back bad games. That's not gonna
You
happen.
wouldn't look for Kevin Durant to have that type of game. Let's be real. If I would have told you Kevin Durant would have started this series off with this type of performance, you wouldn't
Yeah,
believe me.
nah. I think we'll get it together. If anything is doomed by the Nets, it's Steve Nash. Nash be killing me, man.
Money, I
Hold
see
you.
the scapegoat right now. Steve Nash is going to be the scapegoat as far as D Money is concerned. Whenever Brooklyn loses the
Nah,
playoffs, no matter
I'm
what
not gonna do
happens.
that. I'm not gonna do that either, because when you say the things that Kyrie said about them not needing a coach, I mean, I gotta hold you to that standard. So I mean, I'm not gonna fret and say that I can't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That I'm not gonna hold them accountable. But Nash ain't making it easier. I'll just put it that way.
Speaking of Kyrie Irving, what's your reaction to the middle fingers and how he was going back and forth with the Boston crowd during game one? And it looks like I can expect, or a lot of people expecting the NBA to come down on Kyrie with a fine. What's just your reaction on, Kyrie, how he's reacting to the people in the game, mid game?
I'll put it like this. If you're going to embrace that role, don't halfway do it. You know what I'm saying? Really embrace it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to talk about, oh, well, this is the dark side or evil side or whatever. Hey, I don't just, stop where, I guess where he was complaining about, the crowd and everybody feels some type of way about the crowd. Nah, if you're going to be that, embrace that. Welcome it. Don't even, uh, you
You
know,
think
you
he's
know,
1 foot out, 1 foot in when it comes to being the villain?
I think it's 1 foot out, 1 foot in. I don't think no player wants to be the they don't want
The
to be
bad
like the
guy.
Bad Boys was in Detroit.
Right.
Nobody really wants to do that. You know what I'm saying? But Brooklyn is a perfect team to take that role if they
Yeah.
wanted to be that.
Right.
But I mean, Durant's kind of a mama's boy. He holds himself to a certain standard, and I don't know about Kyrie. Kyrie flip flops in everything that he wants to do. But yeah, if you're gonna embrace that role, embrace it, bro. Otherwise, taking these fines is for nothing. You know, so
Okay.
I feel like, especially if they were to take that edge into the next game and rally around that, then cool. But being that they're kind of like halfway in, halfway out, I don't know, man. I don't believe you, man. Need more people. I think you just was getting frustrated, and then that was your way of kind of clapping back, which is kind of, I mean, I can't even say it was a weak clapback because you played excellent yesterday. You played excellent. I don't know, bro.
I'm gonna ask a hypothetical question, and I'm covering this up with hypothetical, even though this is my reality. But I don't want to make it seem like I don't know basketball. So I'll just say hypothetically, if Brooklyn loses this round, because we're talking about Ben Simmons coming back in game 4, possibly. I don't know how the chemistry is going to work with him being ingratiated with this team, even though it will be at home. If Brooklyn loses this first round of Boston, does that put a stain on Kevin Durant's legacy?
Fairly unfairly, it does. I may not do that, but I mean, the media is definitely the media is definitely going to destroy him. And I mean, honestly, if you gonna put some of these asterisks on LeBron, I mean, heavy is the head, man. It is what it is. So yeah,
KD has never wore the crown, though. D Money, you need to stop that. Y'all keep putting Kevin Durant, LeBron James in these conversations when they don't really belong together. Come on now, man, stop it. If Kevin Durant is not able to pull this off, I don't want to hear no excuses about the vaccination and Kyrie went through and James Harden and none of that. Kevin Durant has to prove that he can get the job done without a Steph and a Clay and a Draymond on the team with him.
I mean, you need somebody.
Tired of the excuses, man.
You need somebody.
Tired of the excuses, bro. I got Boston winning this series, man. I really do. And then again, this is why I said Brooklyn won't win a chip regardless, because of the defensive presence that some of these other teams in the East have, namely the Miami Heat. The game slows down in the playoffs, man. It's more of a half-court game. You're studying, playing the same team 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Well, I'm not sold on Kevin Durant being all clutch and all that, man. I'm not.
It's gonna be hard to beat. It's gonna be hard to beat Brooklyn 4 times, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't think so, bro. You see what Boston did in game 1. I don't know how hard it's gonna be, man, because Boston locked in. Now, this was the first game. This was a home game, so I get it. You know what I mean? I don't want to be too disrespectful to the Brooklyn Nets, but.
And then I don't know if you hear these people talking about Jason Tatum made Katie look crazy and all these other things. Like, you know, Katie watches that. You know that's not gonna. Come on, y'all know this not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Who's the better player, Jason Tatum or Kevin Durant?
Come on, man. Why are you really asking that? Let Jason Tatum win this series, and then we can have this conversation. We're not doing that.
So when I ask you that question, you're only going by accolades.
KD.
Still, okay, yeah, accolades-wise, definitely KD. But right now, what we saw in game 1, who's the better player?
Look, man.
You're not going to come up short again, bro.
You're not going to make me say Jason Tatum better than KD, bro. I'm not doing that.
That's okay. That's okay. Because you wouldn't have did Giannis that way last year. Giannis made you say it. Like, this is fine. So if Jason Tatum does it this season, that's another stain on Kevin Durant's resume. I don't care what you say.
Okay. All right. Hey, it'd be like that.
So switching gears to the Western Conference, man, Ja Morant versus Anthony Edwards, man, the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies kicked things off, and the Timberwolves, Patrick Beverly and company, got the win versus Memphis. I think because of that grit, Memphis will lose this series to Minnesota. What you think? And what was your reaction to the Grizzlies losing? Is Ja that guy that can carry the team?
Unfortunately for Ja, he's dealing with the team that's just supremely talented. They don't play the smartest, but as far as with Minnesota, man, they don't take the greatest shots either. But when you got a talent like Anthony Edwards and Nobody has an answer for Cat. And then you have D'Lo. And it's a lot to deal with. And then you got Patrick Beverly who's D'ing you up. So it's just I don't know. That's an upward climb, my guy. But we also said, you did say we're gonna see what Memphis does when the lights is on them.
Yes.
It's gonna be different.
They standing around waiting for Ja to create magic.
Yeah.
And those are not the teams that win series. Like, it's not that Ja can't pull it off, but when you find yourself watching just like you in the bleachers somewhere, you're not helping as a teammate. You know what I'm saying? When they get down clutch and
then the Jaren Jackson's supposed to be the second guy and couldn't do nothing with Cat, bro. Nothing.
Cat is going to have his numbers this series as long as he's efficient. He's going to definitely make a name for himself.
And then you got Anthony Edwards out there, man, and you got somebody that's just as athletic as Ja is, who's bigger. And apparently the shot is falling. If the shot keeps falling like this, I don't know, bro. It could get ugly real fast.
So put this in perspective for me. And I want you to listen closely because I'm going to list the remaining Western Conference teams that's looking for their first NBA title. Let me know which one of these teams you think will more likely win the chip this year. They're looking for their first title. We got the Phoenix Suns, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Utah Jazz, the Denver Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the LA Clippers, and the Pelicans. Which one of those squads you think are more likely to win their first championship coming out the West?
The Clippers.
You think so?
No, like the Clippers, like I ain't think Clippers was even in the conversation. But
okay. They got knocked out, right?
Yeah.
They done. I'm sorry.
The Pelicans put them out.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it looks like Phoenix, man. Phoenix just has everything clicking for them. They look like an actual team. CP3 showed you last night that he can turn it on whenever he wants to, and he still got that dog in him, and he's still as skilled as any player in the NBA, especially from his era. He's still as good as he was.
He's not that much younger or older than LeBron. Like, a lot of people don't give him credit for the longevity that he got. He got some miles and minutes on him too, man. Chris Paul, man.
He do. Good point. But he takes care of his body, and he's, like I said, super skilled. That floor generalship is always there. So it's going to be hard to beat Phoenix. Really hard.
Yeah, I agree. When I look at this list, man, it's a lot of talent, but none of these teams have guys that I'm sold on if the games get real close. You know what I'm saying? And when like we always say, when the lights are the brightest. I'm not a big Joker fan. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the Timberwolves, they don't have enough. When it comes to Utah, Donovan Mitchell and Gobert, Rudy Gobert, that's not it. Memphis just too young.
I think Timberwolves are still about a year or two away myself. I think they might have some of the tools. I just don't think they're ready just yet. And Jokic, he needs like a Jamal Murray out there. Bro.
He would need help at the end of the day.
Yep. They ran that man out the building, bro. It was bad. So
now, D-Money, you brought up New Orleans, the Pelicans. They knocked out the Clippers. I got $1 million question for you, man. Zion Williamson, we're talking about 3 years. 85 games played total in his career. Is Zion Williamson at this point a bust in the NBA? In your eyes?
I would call him a bust, but it's hard to call somebody a bust that just turned 22, bro. Like he's barely played. He just turned 22. So, we haven't seen any growth because he hasn't played. You know what I'm saying? I understand we could go back to the Greg Oden thing, but we've seen over years and years it just wasn't going to work out for Greg Oden. I'll say this, if he goes another year and he's not playing at all, we gotta pack him up, because then all these endorsements that he has behind him, they're gonna start leaving him.
That's a fact.
On right now, Nike is still with him. He hasn't lost none of that stuff just yet. So we'll see once that starts happening, and hopefully that'll be because of the type of player that he is, and not because of the availability. But we'll see, man. It's just hard for me to say that when he's still like super, super young. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think we should be able to mix in, or I don't think it's fair to mix the word bust in with the word disappointment. I think they have two different definitions, but I would consider Zion Williamson to be one of the biggest disappointments in draft history. You know what I'm saying? Now, like you said, because of his age, because of his size, because of the athleticism, and the lack of sample size we saw, we really don't know what he has. But when you talk about a lot of busting things, or if you want to talk about injuries, I can't knock him for that. But his weight, his conditioning, and that stuff came into play in the conversations. And I'm like, I can give you a total pass if you've been hurt all this time. But if you haven't been focused as well on top of all this, and you was the number one pick, I'm kind of looking at you like a bust, because some of those wounds were self-inflicted. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it from that angle. But I definitely think he's probably one of the more disappointing stories that I've been watching the NBA for 30 years, over 30 years. And this is one of the most disappointing stories, coming out of the draft that I've heard. But like you said, because of his age, we still could see something left, but I just don't see it, bro. I'm not sold on Zion. I mean, I think it looks like Ja was a better pick at the end of the day in hindsight. But, I don't want to shoot him down. We'll see.
I got a question for you. So based off of yesterday, right? Or even the past 2 days, who's more believable to you? The Heat or the 76ers? I'd bring the Bucks in, but we know the Bucks is proven. Heat or the 76ers to you?
Clearly to me, and it's a kind of a biased answer, D, but it's the Miami Heat, because I predicted Miami to go to the finals anyway. Like from the start, I predicted Miami to represent the East. And just to see how they locked in, man, I was impressed with Kyle Lowry. He's someone that I'm not a real big fan of anyway. I was just impressed on how they carried it. And, we got a lot of basketball to go. But those guys, see the difference between Miami, another difference between Miami winning the chip and Brooklyn winning the chip. When the game gets close, everybody on Brooklyn, I don't care what you say, you just watch the game. When the games get close, everyone on Brooklyn, they depending on Kevin Durant or Kyrie to take the game over.
Yeah.
No one wants that responsibility they'll do their job. And if things are going well, the supporting cast looks good. But when it's close, when it matters, they're looking for KD and Kyrie to score or do something. Miami, you got 4 or 5 guys that's willing to just do it. Jimmy, Bam, Kyle, like those guys don't look for one particular player when it gets real close to pull it off. Spoelstra puts a program, he got a program he puts together. You got 3-4 guys that really could pull something off. So for that reason, I just feel like Miami as a team is just more ready to rock and more ready to do what it takes to win than Brooklyn. I don't really question Kyrie and Kevin Durant, but the supporting factors, I'm still good with Miami. So I would have to say the Heat was, to me, made me more of a believer than anything.
I like how you try to bring it over to Brooklyn. I was talking about the 76ers, but it's cool.
Yeah, I know. I know. I had to squeeze KD and Kyrie and the Brooklyn Nets into that some way, somehow. Yeah. But I'm just saying, both of those teams are coming out of the East, and that's how I predicted it to go.
Yeah. I wonder how Brooklyn would look if they had Eric Spoelstra as a coach. But that's not the here nor there.
Here we go. Look, Steve Nash is the scapegoat already. I see it.
What I'm saying? Now, here's the thing, though. Like, some folks are saying that, well, Harden might be back. How many more games do you need to see from him for you to say that Harden is what 76ers are paid him to be?
James Harden can come back whenever he wants. He's not going to win a champion. You're not going to win a championship with him. He's not. It's just not going to happen in the foreseeable future to me. I don't care about how nice he is. It's just not going to happen. So Philly is not going to do anything. Joel might get the MVP. Philly should get past Toronto this round, but James Harden is not. He's not that guy. He's not that guy.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting. I would like to see if Brooklyn does get past the Celtics, and I would like to see if how they would match up for the rematch with the Bucks, because I don't see the Bulls. Even when the Bulls was close yesterday, like Giannis is just too much, man. And
Milwaukee
when
is
the guy
problem.
can take 2 steps and just get to the hole, it's just, man, listen. So I would be interested to see the rematch again, but right now, to me, the best series is the Celtics and Brooklyn right now, as far as watchability, anyways.
All right, man. Peace to my NBA family. It's your host, Seven Mitchell, with the Best of 7 Sports Talk. I just wanted to take this time out to say thank you to each and every one of you guys for so much support for the podcast. I hope you guys are really enjoying some of the outside the box angles we take, bringing you in these NBA storylines. Please don't forget to like and share. Most importantly, rate the podcast. You can follow us on social media. All the links will be in the description. And if you would like to contribute to the Best of 7 Sports Talk platform, we have merchandise available, as well as links for the merch, and donations will be all in the description. Once again, thank each and every one of you guys in the NBA community for supporting the show. This is Seven Mitchell with the Best of 7 Sports Talk. Let's talk some NBA action.